Wolf Theiss Soundshot. Insights and analysis from one of the leading law firms in Central, Eastern, and Southeastern Europe. Welcome to this episode of the Wolf Theiss Soundshot Career Edition. In this episode, Nevena Skocic from Belgrade, now working in Vienna, and Borna Dejanović from Zagreb share their insights about career development at Wolf Theiss. Both now intern mentors themselves, Nevena and Borna discuss what it means to grow their careers in tight-knit teams with a cross-border and collaborative approach to daily work, what it was like transitioning from intern to attorney, and how Wolf Theiss' international environment enriched their personal development. Nevena is a member of the banking and finance team. She specializes in capital markets law, as well as finance and tax, and contributes international education and work experience. Borna is a member of the dispute resolutions and the corporate, commercial, and M&A team in Zagreb. Borna joined Wolf Theiss as an associate in 2016 after completing the internship program, and has since been enthusiastically advising a broad spectrum of international clients.
Welcome to Wolf Theiss Soundshot. I'm Nevena Skocic, and originally I am from Serbia, where I started with Wolf Theiss, and I'm currently working in Vienna. I finished my law school in Belgrade, and then afterwards I've been to Madrid in ISDE and into Columbia Law School for LLM. Then afterwards I came back and I was working as a tax advisor, and then I joined Wolf Theiss initially in Belgrade and in Vienna with the banking and finance practice group. I do capital markets. And what about you, Borna?
Well, my name is Borna. I come from Zagreb, Croatia. I graduated at the Zagreb Faculty of Law, and during my studies, I joined Wolf Theiss for an internship program. Right after finishing one student competition, a regional student competition, and participated in the Wolf Theiss winter internship program for approximately 3 months. And the internship program fulfilled my expectations completely, and I was quite happy with the setup and the team here in Zagreb. So I decided to apply for a legal traineeship after finishing my legal studies, and I got employed with Wolf Theiss, and I'm here for 4 years now. I am mostly practicing dispute resolution at the firm.
I think that's the reason that maybe you are really a good example of someone who came to us as a student and loved it and stayed in Wolf Theiss. So I think it's good to have your experience in this talk. We can a bit maybe discuss how the collaboration works across our offices, as we are not only Vienna-based or Croatia-based. We are basically working in the 13C jurisdiction. So we are having a lot of collaboration on the mutual projects, but also across the PGs in the offices itself.
A quick note from the editor. PGs is the abbreviation for practice groups. At Wolf Theiss, we join forces in 10 different practice areas covering all aspects of our corporate clients' legal needs.
Since we are having different practice groups with the different topics, which makes us very interesting for big projects and big transactions, because we can cover all the services and as well a lot of jurisdictions. I think that in past we collaborated together on certain projects, and this was extremely interesting to communicate with people and to learn what are the differences between jurisdictions, and also to constantly have this international communication with the other offices and also international clients. I don't know what you think about it, Borna.
Well, I can completely agree with that. I think that Wolf Theiss has two main advantages. One is the fact that it covers virtually all legal areas and has expertise of highly qualified professionals in virtually all legal aspects. And the other is the international background and the CE footprint that Wolf Theiss covers. And these two aspects clearly provide an advantage for Wolf Theiss to be selected for big international projects, because the firm is able to cover the whole project with its internal team without the need of engaging external advisors and cooperating law firms in this respect.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that also distinguishes us compared to the small law firms. That for us as a lawyers, it's always, we somehow always get the most challenging projects, the most interesting ones, because we get to, you know, like work in these cross jurisdictions, cross border transaction, which makes the work on a day-to-day basics challenging and interesting. I don't know if you would agree with that.
I would completely agree with that. It is challenging, it is demanding, but it's quite fun. And for people that enjoy working on such exciting but demanding projects, I think that Wolf Theiss is a perfect place to be.
How do you find it to culture-wise work with the different colleagues and also clients from a different jurisdiction, including, you know, like not only because we are coming from the Balkan background, but how is, for example, for you to work with colleagues from Vienna or from Budapest? How do you feel? What are your experiences in this regard?
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting for me. When you start, you don't have an experience of working cross border with people coming from different cultures, and Wolf Theiss provides a possibility to learn and to get acquainted with your colleagues' cultures, and this also helps when you have clients coming from different countries as well, because you are able to adapt to their cultural understanding and their cultural specifics, which are quite different in comparison to the local ones here in as we have in Croatia. And I think that a good aspect and an opportunity that Wolf Theiss provides is that when cooperating with your colleagues and meeting them on Wolf Theiss business schools and other events, it really helps to understand what the cultural background of that people is, and to be able to adapt to different scenarios in this respect.
But what do you find the most challenging?
The most challenging, we'll have to cut this one out.
Yeah. Say it now.
but thanks for that. Nevena, you participated in Wolf Theiss business schools. Are you able to shed some light in this respect and on this project?
Yeah, these schools, I find this extremely important and extremely interesting for everybody who is with Wolf Theiss, especially when you are at the beginning and you are starting, because these business schools, which are held in Vienna, are a great opportunity to get to know the Wolf Theiss as such, so internal system, but also to get to know people. So not only the PG that you're normally working with, but also all other PGs, and this makes extremely interesting for everybody, and the contacts you make on the business school later on helps you a lot for the collaboration and communication across the offices and across the projects, because afterwards you can really personally call someone and ask a question that you have without having any further formality for day-to-day work, which makes our day-to-day job quite easy. The interesting is that on my very first business school that I came to, when I came to Vienna, there was a group of people. There was 6 of us. We were all from the different countries. So there were 2 guys from Vienna, me from Serbia, 1 girl from Croatia, 1 girl from Slovenia, and 1 girl from Bosnia. And we were like, really, we clicked from the beginning, like both our interests and everything. The school was extremely good for us, and we became like friends. Afterwards, we agreed that we will meet each other like in each jurisdiction or each country. I said, okay, I will be first. I will organize our trip to Belgrade, because Belgrade is very fun, and I miscalculated that this is actually during my bar exam, at the end of my bar exam, and basically the people arrived while I was having a bar. So this was how it happened. But somehow I organized my friends, and like everybody was saying like, oh, this is super complicated, you're not really normal. But yeah, I organized everything, and everybody came, and we were there. I passed the bar luckily, but they were standing with me while the commission were declaring who passed the bar and who failed. And next to me were these two friends, colleagues from Vienna office, and I said to one of them, can you please let me know, because I didn't sleep, I haven't eaten, I have no idea, I don't hear anything. Can you please let me know if I passed the bar, because I will not get if I passed it or not, because they were saying the names. And he said to me, Nevena, I don't know Serbian. I was like, okay, yeah, that's the thing, yeah, oh, sorry. But it was a good news, I passed the bar, and yeah, we really had a great time in Belgrade afterwards. So I think that everybody were happy. Afterwards, we went to Slovenia, to Bled, to the lake. And we went to Zagreb also, and also to Sarajevo. So we did the whole circle of our CE offices, visiting also all the offices, which was also interesting. So we had the opportunity to meet colleagues there in person, all the rest that we didn't know, and to see how office looks like. This really shows how these schools are very important for our collaboration, and also for us to be actually what we are, one firm in a different offices located in the CE region. So yeah, that's basically the story. I don't know what's your experience with the school, Borna.
So one interesting story from my attendance at the Wolf Theiss Finance School. It was taking place in February, sometime around Fasching. And I then learned that Wolf Theiss regularly organizes a costume party at the firm. And our team leaders decided that we will all join the party, and I didn't expect that so much people will actually be attending the party, and that so much people will actually be costumed there, including the partners at the firm. And this was quite interesting to see. The theme was, if I can remember correctly, it was circus or zoo or something like that, and people were all dressed up as animals. And you know, when you get the chance to see your partners and dressed up as zebras or lions,
or
chickens, yeah, it's quite an interesting scene, really. And we were the attendees of the school. We were not prepared that we will actually be participating in the carnival. And one of the partners that was leading the school inquired whether we all have our costumes ready with us, and nobody really brought a costume with them to Vienna, as I think some of them wanted to circumvent and not attend the party at the evening. But then the partners found a solution, and we all got our costumes, and I was ultimately dressed up as a chicken. And yeah, unfortunately, the pictures of the event also arrived to the Zagreb office, so I was also forced to wear the chicken suit in the office here, and it was quite funny.
But tells a lot that you brought a suit back to Zagreb from Vienna. So don't now get the excuses, yeah?
Yeah.
You packed up the suit.
Yeah. I loved it. I really like it. I still have it here in the office, so yeah.
Okay.
And overall, so the costume party was quite an interesting experience of particularly Austrian culture, and I then learned that we in Croatia also have regular carnival sessions each year, and I then understood that our cultures are not so different, but that we're quite similar. So Nevena, do you have any tips for students?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely important that, that as you did, I think that you did a good job. When you were a student, you did practices. So you did your internships in certain law firm, and you saw what you like or you don't like. And I think that's important because back in law school, you really have a very broad knowledge, and you have no idea what you actually want to do. At least was with me. And only when I started with my practice and started to get to know a bit what a real lawyers does in different fields, I could think whether I like certain things or this is not for me. I think that the tip that I would give to anybody would be to get the student internship and to see whether they like to work in a big law firm or a small law firm, or to see what fits for them. Second tip is, of course, our languages. I'm now sorry that I didn't learn my German better when I was in high school. But yeah, I think that it's important to study as much languages as you can, especially English. Wherever you do, it's kind of a language that you have to know, at least to read, for certain projects or certain backgrounds or certain legislation or certain practices, English is quite important. And I think that when I remember myself, I just don't know how my English developed to the level I can work on it. I know I learned the English all my life, and I studied afterwards my master's in English. But I think that I just, with practice, I think you learn more and more words, especially legal language. When I started initially to work, I remember that I couldn't write a proper email in English, even though until that I thought I'm professional in English. This is I can do whatever. But when you come to this professional language, you really have to, you really have to practice it. And I think that the best advice I could give to the student is not discourage themselves, because this comes with time. If you are really persistent and you're constantly working, you're catching up the words and you're catching up the phrases and the communication, because each firm and each professional surrounding has its own way of communicating and language style. It's very important to be just persistent with it. And that would be the tips that I would give. What would I do differently? I did everything good when it comes to choosing of a law firm. I think that this was a very good choice for me. Maybe what I would do differently for myself is that I would not go, but this is completely personal, that I would not go to LLM right after the law school, that I would first have some experience and see what I like, and then go for an LLM, because this was too stressful, and I think that I would earn more from LLM if I take time. What's about you? What do you think, Borna? What are the tips and experiences you had? What would you do differently?
Speaking of what would I do like I did, I think that I would join Wolf Theiss for an internship program. I think that students should definitely seize the opportunity and take advantage of such possibilities and get to know how it's like to work in an international law firm. I know that students are not familiar with how things work out in practice, and it's really difficult to, when you start to work, to really understand how to implement your theoretical knowledge in practical work. And I think that an internship program in a major international law firm is a great place to get at least a glance of how it's done already during your studies. And I think that I made a good decision when I decided to join Wolf Theiss for an internship program, and I would certainly do it again. And it's not only about the internship, but to seize all opportunities that are available for the students alongside their studies. I think that joining moot court competitions and participating in Erasmus exchange programs is really important, because that helps you to stand out in the mass and to make a difference in comparison to other students. What I would do differently is that I would certainly explore and take part in different extracurricular activities alongside my studies. I would perhaps participate in additional competitions, or I would try to even to participate in more internship programs, because I think that while knowledge that you will gain at the faculty is really important, but it's more important to have some experience and to be able to have a quick start when you start working as a legal trainee. and most importantly that you see whether and how does the setup and the surrounding in an international law firm fit your personal preferences, and whether this is a place where you would want to develop your career or not.
Borna, thank you for the conversation. It was very interesting hearing your point of view, and I hope we speak again soon.
Thank you, Nevena. It was completely my pleasure, and I'm certain that we will have a chance to discuss soon.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Wolf Theiss Soundshot. For more information, you can contact us via email at soundshot@wolftheiss.com or visit our website at www.wolftheiss.com. You can also follow us here to receive further updates on developments in law and business from one of the leading law firms in Central, Eastern, and Southeastern Europe.